What if the best gift you could give a child wasn't praise for being perfect, but permission to get it wrong? Hi, my name is Precious, and one of my bachelor's of science is in child learning and development. And I'm also a teacher, specifically a second and third grade math and science teacher. Today, I want us to talk about one of the most powerful lessons that we can teach children, which is how to fail and why that matters. As Dweck in 2006 explains, in culture where perfection is praised and effort is undervalued, children begin to associate failure with personal inadequacy rather than growth. But failure is not the opposite of success, it's a path to it. As a teacher, I see this daily. I don't just hand out participation trophies just for showing up. I reward effort. The way I do this in my classrooms as a math and science teacher is that when I see a student get questions wrong, I first congratulate them for trying when I see that they made effort to do the problem. Afterwards, I try to analyze their point of view. So I ask them, could you tell me the steps you did to get to this answer? Because I am not able to help them until I can understand their perspective of the question. After I get their perspective, then I tell them that I understand where they're coming from, and then I explain how to properly solve the problem. And the key thing is that I give them an opportunity to redo and resolve a similar problem for half the credit. You may be wondering, why am I not rewarding them full credit if I'm talking about the importance of failure? This is because I want to honor the students who got it right the first time, but I also value the effort and growth of those who learned through the process. This creates a classroom culture where improvement is expected, not penalized. Also, a culture where trying again is seen as a strength and not as a weakness. I've had students cry over math problems only to beam weeks later when they are excited and proud of themselves for finally figuring it out. That pride, it didn't come from them getting it right the first time, although sometimes it did. However, it also came from the climb, from them trying over and over and over again until they finally got it right. Now, let's tie this with science. Yeager and Dweck in 2012 actually emphasized that when children are allowed to fail safely and are supported through it, this is where they learn resilience. They build grit. They begin to understand that their value isn't built on flawless performance, but by growth and trying again. Dweck in 2006 actually emphasized that viewing mistakes as a reflection of your ability, which is what is known as a fixed mindset, can block long-term learning and development. Boaler in 2013 actually emphasized that when a child fails and they're encouraged to reflect and for them to try again, their brain forms new neural pathways. This is the concept of neuroplasticity, also something that Boaler in 2013 emphasized. She emphasized that how struggle, particularly in math education, strengthens learning. So children are literally growing stronger through challenge. I want you to think about that, because when a child makes a mistake and they're met with encouragement and that they could try again, their brain rewires. Neurons fire and new connections are formed in the brain. This process doesn't just build academic skills, but emotional stamina. This is how we cultivate perseverance, not just performance. But when we rescue children from failure and we punish them for their mistakes, we're telling them, play it safe and don't take risk. We're also telling them, don't try unless you're sure to win. That kind of thinking limits identity, not just achievement. For example, since I teach math, if I punish my students for getting a problem wrong, they would see themselves as bad as math, when in reality, They just haven't learned how to properly solve the problem yet. You have to shift the message because mistakes means you're learning. Struggling means your brain is growing. And most importantly, failure is not final. It's just feedback. So let's model this in our classrooms, in our homes. Let's praise effort, not just outcomes. Let's celebrate persistence, not just perfection. Let's normalize the messy, non-linear process of learning. The truth is, the earlier children learn this, the more confident and curious they become. Let's raise kids who fall and get back up, and let's raise kids who don't fear failure, but understand it. Because failure is not something to fix, it's something to face with courage, curiosity, and compassion. That is all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you have any thoughts, questions, comments, or concerns, and let me know if there's anything you'd like me to further expand on. I will be linking all the references I use in creating this video in the caption below. That is all for now. Bye!